Listen closely, for this moment is not ordinary. Something within you stirred before you even pressed play, a quiet sense that these words were meant to reach you today, not yesterday, not tomorrow, but now. There are times in life when you move through days without noticing the deeper currents guiding you. And then there are sacred moments when truth rises to the surface and asks you to pay attention. This is one of those moments. You have wondered why your path has seemed longer than others, why doors appeared to close just when you believed they would open, and why your efforts sometimes felt unseen. You questioned whether your persistence mattered, whether your patience had meaning, and whether the silent prayers you whispered in the late hours were heard. Yet even when uncertainty surrounded you, something inside refused to quit. That quiet endurance was not an accident. It was strength being formed. Understand this, the seasons of waiting were never empty. Every challenge you walked through was shaping clarity inside you. Every delay was creating room for something larger than what you first imagined. You thought the struggle meant you were falling behind, but in truth, you were being positioned carefully so that when your moment arrived, you would be ready to carry what comes next. Today, I ask you to release one belief that has quietly held you back, the belief that your best days belong only to the past. Your greatest impact has not already happened. The most meaningful chapters of your life are not closed pages. They are still being written, and the ink has not yet dried on what you are about to become. The world often teaches people to measure worth by speed, by comparison, by how quickly results appear. Yet true transformation grows in places that cannot always be seen. There are lessons you now carry that you could not have understood years ago. You have learned patience where once there was frustration. You have learned compassion where once there was judgment. You have learned resilience where once there was doubt. These changes are not small. They are the very tools that will allow you to step into the opportunities now approaching you. Pause for a moment and reflect on how far you have already come. Think of the obstacles you once believed were impossible to overcome, yet today they stand behind you as evidence of your strength. Even the experiences that brought tears into your life carried hidden preparation within them. Nothing you endured was wasted. Every step taught you something essential, even when you did not recognize it at the time. Right now, a new awareness is forming within you. It is the realization that your life is not happening randomly. There is direction in your journey, even when the path looks uncertain. The reason you still feel a pull forward, even after disappointments, is because your purpose has not finished unfolding. The future is not something you must chase desperately. It is something you prepare yourself to receive. Take a deep breath and allow this truth to settle in your heart. You are not late, you are not forgotten, and you are not without direction. Your timing is unfolding with precision, even when you cannot see the full design yet. What you once interpreted as delay was often protection, guiding you away from situations that were not meant to remain in your life. When certain things ended, it was not always loss. Sometimes it was alignment. Now, I invite you to make a simple decision. Decide that from this day forward, you will stop speaking to yourself as though your story is small. Decide that you will stop measuring your life only by what has not happened yet, and begin recognizing the growth already taking place within you. The moment you change how you see your journey, new confidence begins to rise, and that confidence shapes how you walk into every opportunity ahead. If these words resonate with your heart, take a moment right now and write, "I am ready," in the comments as a declaration that you choose hope over hesitation. When you speak your intention, even in a simple action, you remind yourself that you are participating in your own transformation. Stay with this message until the end of the series, because each part will help you see your life with clearer vision and stronger faith. The insights you receive are not meant to remain only as inspiration. They are meant to be practiced in your daily decisions, your relationships, and the way you treat your own dreams. Small, consistent steps will shape results that once seemed distant. And if these words have brought encouragement into your heart, Consider helping this message reach someone else who may need it today. Like this video, subscribe so you do not miss the next part. Share it with someone who is searching for strength, and if you feel uplifted by what you hear, support this ministry through the link given below so more people can receive messages of hope. There are moments when transformation happens so quietly that you do not recognize it until you look back and see how differently you now respond to life. Once, certain words would have discouraged you for days. Once, a single obstacle might have convinced you to stop trying. Yet today you continue forward even after disappointment, even after delays, even after moments when no one seems to notice your effort. That quiet persistence reveals a strength that has already taken root within you. Many people wait for dramatic signs before believing their lives are changing, but the most powerful shifts often begin in small, unseen ways. A calmer reaction where anger once lived, a patient decision where impatience once ruled, a hopeful thought where fear once repeated itself. These are not minor adjustments. They are the evidence of inner renewal. When your inner world changes, your outer world eventually follows. You may still look at your circumstances and wonder why everything has not yet aligned, why certain doors remain closed, or why progress sometimes appears slow. Yet consider this truth carefully. Growth that lasts is rarely rushed. When something meaningful is being built in your life, it is shaped layer by layer, lesson by lesson, so that when opportunity finally appears, you are able to hold it without losing balance. Think of how many times you have already overcome situations that once felt overwhelming. You adapted, you learned, you continued, and each time you rose again, you became slightly stronger than before. Strength is not created only in victories. It is often formed in the decision to stand up again after disappointment. That decision, repeated many times, becomes resilience, and resilience becomes confidence. Right now, you stand in a period where patience still matters, but patience does not mean standing still. It means continuing to prepare your mindset, your skills, your attitude, and your willingness to act when the right moment arrives. Some opportunities require readiness more than desire. Many people want change, but fewer prepare themselves daily so they can recognize the moment when change finally appears. My child, I want you to understand something deeply. The preparation happening in your life today is not separate from your future success. It is the foundation of it. The habits you build, the discipline you practice, the kindness you show, and the courage you display, even in quiet moments, are shaping the person who will step into the next chapter. Nothing you are doing with sincerity is wasted. Sometimes you compare your progress with others and feel that you should already be further ahead. Comparison quietly steals peace, because it makes you measure your journey against paths that were never meant to be identical to yours. Each person carries different lessons, different timing, and different responsibilities. Instead of asking why someone else seems faster, ask whether you are becoming wiser, stronger, and more prepared each day. That is the progress that truly matters. Look carefully at your recent days. Have you not become more aware of what truly matters to you? Have you not begun to recognize which relationships strengthen your spirit and which ones drain your energy? Have you not started to notice that your goals are becoming clearer, even if the full path is still forming? These realizations are signals that direction is already unfolding inside you. The next step is simple, but powerful. Remain consistent. Continue choosing actions that align with the future you desire. Speak to yourself with encouragement instead of doubt. Surround yourself with influences that remind you of possibility rather than limitation. Even the smallest daily decision, repeated long enough, reshapes the direction of your life. Many breakthroughs arrive quietly, not as sudden miracles, but as the natural result of continued faithful effort. One day you look back and realize that the path which once seemed impossible has become your present reality. The confidence you once wished for becomes the way you naturally walk. The opportunities you once searched for begin to recognize the value you now carry. If these words are strengthening your heart, pause for a moment and type, "I keep moving forward," in the comments, as a reminder to yourself that persistence is your power. Every time you affirm your direction, you train your mind to focus on progress instead of fear. Stay with this message series until the end, because each part is designed to help you apply practical wisdom to your daily life. How to strengthen your mindset, how to recognize opportunity, how to maintain hope when results seem delayed, and how to build a future that reflects the best within you. Transformation is not only inspiration, it is consistent action, guided by clear understanding. Remember today that you are not standing where you once were. You are further along the path than you realize, and the steps you take now are shaping outcomes you will soon be grateful for. Continue forward with calm determination, and allow each day to become another piece of the strong foundation you are building. There are seasons in life when movement feels quick and visible, and there are seasons when progress seems almost invisible. Many people lose hope during the quieter seasons because they mistake silence for absence and delay for denial. Yet some of the most important transformations occur precisely during these slower moments, when patience is being strengthened and your vision is being refined. You may not always see dramatic changes around you, but something meaningful continues to develop within you. Each day you choose to keep going, even without applause, even without immediate results. You build a level of endurance that cannot be easily shaken. Endurance is what allows a person to continue when excitement fades and discipline becomes necessary. Those who learn to walk faithfully during the slow seasons often become the ones who stand confidently during the seasons of success. Consider how nature itself moves. Seeds do not become trees overnight. Roots grow in hidden darkness, long before branches appear in the sunlight. The period that looks quiet from the outside is often the period of the most essential growth. In the same way, the work being done in your mindset, your character, and your decisions is preparing you for outcomes that will appear at the right time. Sometimes you ask why certain dreams have taken longer than you expected. The answer is often simple. You are being shaped into someone capable of sustaining those dreams once they arrive. Quick success without preparation can disappear quickly, but growth built with patience becomes lasting. The strength you develop now ensures that when your opportunities come, you will not lose them through doubt or fear. My child, you have already shown courage by continuing forward even when the path felt uncertain. There were days when you did not know what the next step should be, yet you still chose not to give up. That decision alone changed more in your future than you realize. Every time you refused to quit, you silently declared that your story was still moving forward, and that declaration has power. You may notice that challenges sometimes appear just when you feel ready to move ahead. This does not mean you are moving in the wrong direction. Often, it means you are approaching a new level that requires stronger focus. Obstacles are not always meant to stop you. Sometimes they are meant to sharpen your determination and teach you how to navigate situations with greater wisdom. When you respond with patience instead of panic, you discover solutions that once seemed impossible. Take a moment today to observe how far your thinking has already evolved. You are no longer the same person who once reacted only with fear. You now pause, reflect, and choose your actions more carefully. You have learned to recognize that temporary discomfort does not define your entire journey. This awareness itself is progress, and it continues to guide you forward. Do not allow the slow pace of certain outcomes to convince you that nothing is happening. Growth is taking place in your habits, in your understanding, and in the way you see your own potential. The consistency you practice today will eventually produce results that appear sudden to others, even though you know they were built step by step over time. If you ever feel discouraged, remind yourself of a simple truth. The path may feel long, but every step still counts. No sincere effort disappears. No lesson learned becomes useless. Every experience adds depth to your perspective and strength to your character. Even mistakes become teachers when you choose to learn from them rather than hide from them. Right now, commit yourself again to steady progress. You do not need to solve your entire future today. Focus instead on the next meaningful action you can take. Small, faithful steps, repeated consistently, create momentum that eventually carries you further than bursts of short-lived motivation. Consistency is quiet, but its results are powerful. If this message speaks to your heart, pause for a moment and write, "I will not stop," in the comments as a personal declaration. Let those words remind you that your persistence is stronger than temporary frustration. Each time you affirm your direction, you reinforce the mindset that keeps you moving forward. Continue watching until the end of this series, because every part is designed to help you apply these principles in practical ways. How to maintain focus when distractions appear, how to rebuild confidence after setbacks, and how to recognize the opportunities that patience eventually reveals. Your journey is not defined by how fast everything happens, but by how faithfully you continue walking. Remember today that progress does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it appears in the form of a calmer mind, a clearer decision, or a renewed willingness to try again. These quiet changes are the early signs of larger breakthroughs forming ahead. Keep walking, keep learning, and keep believing that what you are building step by step will soon stand strong enough for you and for others to see. There comes a point in every journey when the greatest obstacle is no longer the difficulty around you, but the hesitation within you. Fear often appears quietly, not always as panic, but as doubt, overthinking, or the belief that you must wait until everything feels perfect before you move forward. Yet many meaningful changes in life begin the moment you decide to act, even while uncertainty still exists. You have already faced situations that once seemed impossible, and yet here you are, still moving, still learning, still growing. This alone proves that courage has been developing inside you. Courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means choosing to continue despite it. Every time you step forward while unsure, you expand the boundaries of what you believe is possible for your life. Sometimes you tell yourself that you will begin when you feel more confident, when conditions improve, or when someone else confirms that you are ready. But confidence is rarely something that appears before action. Confidence grows through action. Each small step you take sends a message to your mind that you are capable, and that message slowly replaces the voice of hesitation that once tried to hold you back. Look closely at your life and notice the areas where you have already been brave without even realizing it. You made decisions that changed your direction. You continued trying even after disappointment. You kept believing in possibilities that others may not have understood. These moments of quiet bravery built the foundation you now stand on. The strength you seek is not far away. It is already present within you, waiting to be used more boldly. My child, understand that fear often appears strongest just before meaningful progress. When you are close to stepping into something new, your mind may attempt to protect you by encouraging you to remain in what feels familiar. Familiar situations can feel safe even when they no longer help you grow. Courage invites you to move beyond that comfort and discover what lies on the other side of hesitation. Imagine what could change in your life if you decided today to take one step you have been postponing. It does not need to be a dramatic leap. Even a small action taken with determination begins to shift your momentum. Momentum, once started, has a powerful effect. It makes the next step easier, and then the next, until what once seemed difficult becomes natural. You may worry about making mistakes along the way, but mistakes are not the opposite of success. They are often part of the process that leads to it. Every person who has achieved something meaningful has also experienced moments where plans did not work as expected. What made the difference was not perfection, but persistence. They continued adjusting, learning, and moving forward until progress became visible. Right now, your life is inviting you to believe in your own ability more fully. Not in a distant future version of yourself, but in the person you are becoming today. You do not need to wait for complete certainty to to begin moving toward your goals. Start with what you know, use what you have, and trust that additional clarity will appear as you continue walking. Take a moment to breathe deeply and release the idea that you must be flawless before taking action. Growth happens in motion. The lessons you need often appear only after you begin. When you remain still for too long, opportunities can pass quietly by. But when you step forward, even imperfectly, you place yourself where possibilities can find you. There will be days when courage feels easier and days when it feels challenging, but consistency is what shapes long-term change. Each time you choose to act instead of retreat, you strengthen the habit of bravery. Over time, the actions that once required effort become natural expressions of who you are. If these words are encouraging you today, pause for a moment and write, "I choose courage," in the comments as a reminder to yourself that fear does not control your direction. Let that simple declaration mark the beginning of a stronger mindset, one that supports your growth rather than limiting it. Stay with this series until the end, because each part is meant to guide you step by step, helping you develop confidence, maintain focus, and recognize the opportunities that appear when you refuse to let hesitation decide your future. Your journey is not waiting for the perfect moment. It is shaped by the moments when you decide to move forward anyway. Remember this truth today. Courage is not something reserved for extraordinary people. It is a choice available to you in ordinary moments. Repeat it again and again until it transforms your path. Take that next step with determination. Trust the strength that has already grown within you and allow your actions to prove what your fears once tried to deny, that you are capable of more than you imagined. There are times when progress in your life does not begin with gaining something new, but with releasing something that has quietly been holding you back. Many people try to move forward while still carrying the weight of past disappointments, regrets, or limiting beliefs, and then wonder why the journey feels heavier than expected. Freedom often begins the moment you decide that not everything from your past must continue into your future. You may still hold memories of moments when things did not go as planned, when trust was broken, when opportunity slipped away, or when your efforts did not receive the recognition you hoped for. These experiences can leave marks that influence how you see yourself and what you believe is possible. Yet the purpose of those experiences was never to define your limits. They were meant to teach you, strengthen you, and prepare you for wiser decisions ahead. My child, understand this clearly. You cannot fully receive what is ahead while your hands remain tightly closed around what is already finished. Letting go does not mean forgetting lessons or pretending something never mattered. It means allowing yourself to move forward without carrying unnecessary emotional weight. When you release resentment, self-doubt, or the constant replaying of past failures, you create room for clarity, creativity, and renewed confidence. Consider how many thoughts you repeat each day. Some encourage you, while others quietly drain your energy. When you begin to notice which thoughts weaken your hope, you gain the power to replace them with thoughts that strengthen your direction. This is not denial of reality. It is intentional focus. Your mind becomes more peaceful when you choose to nurture beliefs that support your growth, rather than those that keep you stuck in old fears. There may also be habits or environments that no longer match the person you are becoming. Growth sometimes requires adjusting what you allow into your daily life, what you watch, what you listen to, who you spend time with, and how you speak about your own potential. Even small changes in these areas can significantly influence how you feel and how you act over time. When your environment begins to reflect your aspirations, moving forward becomes easier. Letting go can feel uncomfortable at first, because the familiar, even when it is not helpful, can feel safe. Yet every meaningful transformation involves stepping beyond what is familiar into what is possible. You do not need to release everything at once. Begin with one step, one forgiving thought, one healthier decision, one boundary that protects your peace, one belief that says your future is not limited by your past. Small releases, repeated consistently, gradually lighten the load you carry. You may notice that as you release what no longer serves you, new ideas begin to appear. Energy that was once spent on worry or regret becomes available for creativity and action. This is how renewal begins, not through dramatic change overnight, but through intentional daily choices that redirect your attention toward growth. The person you're becoming is shaped not only by what you pursue, but also by what you decide to leave behind. Take a moment today to reflect quietly. Is there something you have been holding on to that is ready to be released? Perhaps it is an old disappointment you still replay, a fear that prevents you from trying again, or a belief that you're not capable enough. Imagine how much lighter your steps could feel if that weight were set down. The future does not require you to carry every burden from the past. If this message touches your heart, pause for a moment and type, "I let go and move forward," in the comments as a gentle commitment to yourself. Words have power when they are spoken with intention, and even a simple declaration can remind you of the direction you are choosing today. Continue watching this series until the end, because each part is designed to guide you in practical ways. How to strengthen your mindset, how to maintain peace in challenging situations, how to recognize opportunities that appear after you create space for them, and how to live with purpose rather than pressure. The journey ahead is not meant to feel heavier with time. It is meant to become clearer and more meaningful as you grow. And if these messages bring encouragement into your life, remember to like, subscribe, and share so that others who need hope can also receive it. If you feel happy and uplifted by these words, you can also support this ministry through the link given below, helping these messages reach many more people searching for strength and direction. Today is a new opportunity, not because everything around you changed overnight, but because you can choose a lighter way of walking forward. Release what is finished, hold tightly to what truly matters, and step into the coming days with renewed confidence, knowing that every small decision to move forward is shaping a future brighter than you once imagined. There is a truth many people overlook while searching for change. The future you hope for is often built through small daily actions, rather than sudden dramatic moments. While inspiration can begin a journey, discipline is what carries it forward. The quiet habits you practice each day, even when no one notices, gradually shape the results you will experience months and years from now. You may sometimes wish for instant transformation, a single moment where everything suddenly becomes clear and success arrives effortlessly. Yet most meaningful progress grows step by step. The person who continues working steadily, even when excitement fades, eventually reaches places that those who depend only on motivation rarely see. Discipline is not punishment. It is the consistent expression of commitment to the life you want to create. Think about the routines that fill your days. Some of them move you closer to your goals, while others quietly consume time without bringing real value. When you begin to examine how your hours are spent, you gain the power to redirect your energy. Even one intentional change, reading instead of scrolling, planning instead of worrying, practicing instead of postponing, can begin to shift the direction of your life. My child, understand that discipline is not about perfection. It is about returning to your intention again and again, even after days when you feel tired or distracted. Every time you return to your purpose, instead of giving up, you strengthen your ability to stay focused. That focus becomes the bridge between where you are and where you desire to be. Many people underestimate the impact of small, consistent efforts. They wait for large opportunities while ignoring the daily preparation that would make those opportunities meaningful. Imagine the difference that can occur over a year if you dedicate even a short period each day to learning, improving, or building something that matters to you. Time, when guided by intention, becomes one of the most powerful forces shaping your future. You might sometimes feel that your efforts are too small to matter, especially when results are not immediate. Yet consider how rivers carve valleys not through sudden force, but through continuous flow. Persistence creates transformation precisely because it does not stop. In the same way, your daily discipline gradually shapes outcomes that once seemed far away. There will be days when maintaining consistency feels challenging. Unexpected events, fatigue, or temporary discouragement may interrupt your routine. During such moments, remember that progress does not require perfection. It requires returning. Even if you pause briefly, begin again the next day. The willingness to start again is itself a form of strength, and it keeps your momentum alive. Look ahead and imagine the version of yourself you want to become. Someone more confident, more capable, more prepared to seize opportunities. That version of you is not created by a single moment of inspiration, but by repeated decisions that align with your goals. Each disciplined action, no matter how small, becomes a building block, forming that future identity. You may notice that as your discipline grows, your confidence also increases. Confidence often follows action. When you see yourself keeping promises you made to your own goals, you begin to trust your abilities more deeply. This trust strengthens your courage to attempt things that once felt intimidating, and gradually your comfort zone expands. Today, choose one simple habit that moves you forward and commit to practicing it consistently. It could be dedicating time to learning, improving your health, organizing your plans, or taking daily steps toward a dream you have postponed. Start small but remain steady. Over time, these actions accumulate into results that surprise even you. If this message encourages you, take a moment and type "I stay consistent" in the comments as a reminder that your daily actions are shaping your future. Let those words serve as a personal promise to continue showing up for your goals, even when progress feels slow. Stay with this series until the end, because each part is designed to help you strengthen different areas of your life, your mindset, your habits, your relationships, and your sense of purpose. The wisdom you apply daily will guide you through challenges and help you recognize opportunities that consistency often reveals. Remember today that greatness is rarely built in a single day. It is formed in the quiet repetition of meaningful actions, performed again and again with patience and determination. Continue practicing discipline with a calm heart, and you will discover that what once seemed distant gradually becomes your present reality, step by step, choice by choice. There are moments in life when the path ahead looks unclear, when you cannot yet see how your present efforts will lead to the outcomes you hope for. During these times, many people begin to doubt the value of what they are doing. They wonder whether their work is meaningful, whether their patience is being wasted, or whether their dreams are realistic. Yet, uncertainty does not mean the process has stopped. Often, it simply means that the results are still forming beyond what your eyes can presently see. Progress does not always move in straight lines. Sometimes it moves quietly beneath the surface, connecting experiences, lessons, and opportunities in ways that become visible only later. When you look back at your life, you may already notice moments that once felt confusing but later revealed their purpose. Situations that seemed like setbacks eventually directed you toward better choices, stronger relationships, or new skills that became essential for your growth. What once looked like delay later became preparation. My child, trusting the process does not mean you stop working or stop caring about your goals. It means you continue acting with dedication while accepting that not every result appears immediately. Faith in the process gives you the calm patience to keep moving without being discouraged by temporary silence. When you trust the journey, you release the pressure of needing everything to happen at once, and instead you focus on doing each step well. Consider how often people abandon their goals, not because they lack ability, but because they lose patience too early. They expect instant change and become discouraged when it does not arrive quickly. Yet the difference between those who eventually succeed and those who give up is often persistence. Those who continue refining their efforts, learning from mistakes, and adapting their approach gradually discover doors opening that once seemed permanently closed. You may be closer to your breakthrough than you realize. Many turning points happen just after moments when people feel most tempted to quit. The challenge is not always in reaching the destination, it is in remaining steady long enough for the destination to appear. When you stay committed even during uncertain phases, you allow opportunities the time they need to align with your preparation. There is also wisdom in understanding that not every opportunity must arrive immediately. Some experiences need to happen first, so that when the right chance comes, you recognize it and use it well. Timing often protects you from receiving something before you are fully ready to sustain it. The patience you practice today is quietly strengthening your ability to handle tomorrow's responsibilities. You may sometimes compare your progress with others and wonder why their results appear faster. Yet each path carries different lessons and different timing. Instead of measuring how quickly someone else arrives somewhere, focus on how steadily you are moving toward the direction that truly belongs to you. The journey that fits your purpose may not look identical to anyone else's, but it will lead you to the place where your abilities are most meaningful. Take a moment to remember the reasons you began your journey. Recall the hopes that inspired you, the improvements you wanted to make, and the impact you hope to create. Reconnecting with your original purpose can renew your motivation when temporary uncertainty tries to weaken it. Purpose is a powerful source of endurance, reminding you why continuing matters even when progress is not yet visible. If doubt ever begins to whisper that your efforts are pointless, answer it with action. Continue learning, continue improving, continue showing up. Each step you take reinforces the truth that your journey is still alive and moving. Momentum often returns the moment you refuse to remain still. Action transforms uncertainty into direction. If these words strengthen your spirit, pause for a moment and write, "I trust the process," in the comments as a personal reminder that patience and persistence are guiding your steps. Let this declaration encourage you to continue moving forward with calm confidence rather than restless worry. Stay with this series until the end, because each part is meant to help you see your journey with greater clarity. How to maintain focus when results seem delayed, how to strengthen your habits while waiting for opportunities, and how to recognize the growth already happening within you. Your life is not standing still. It is unfolding, often in ways that become clear only when you look back. Remember today that the process you are walking through has meaning even when it feels slow. Every lesson, every effort, and every moment of perseverance is contributing to a future that is gradually taking shape. Continue trusting the steps you are taking, and you will eventually see how each one carried you closer to the place where your preparation meets your opportunity. Every day, countless thoughts pass quietly through your mind, and many of them feel so automatic that you hardly notice them. Yet those thoughts are not powerless. They influence how you feel, how you act, and ultimately the direction your life begins to take. When your thoughts are filled with doubt, hesitation often follows. When your thoughts are filled with possibility, action becomes easier. Learning to guide your thinking is one of the most important steps in shaping the future you desire. You may have experienced moments when a single encouraging idea changed your entire day. Suddenly, you felt motivated to try again, to take a step you had postponed, or to believe that something better was possible. In the same way, repeated negative thoughts can slowly drain your confidence without you even realizing it. What you repeatedly tell yourself becomes the lens through which you see your opportunities. If that lens is filled with limitation, even open doors may appear closed. If that lens is filled with hope, you begin to notice chances that were always present. My child, the mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant and water regularly begins to grow. If you allow fear, resentment, or constant self-criticism to dominate your thinking, those patterns will expand and influence your decisions. But when you intentionally plant thoughts of learning, patience, courage, and possibility, your actions begin to reflect those qualities. Change often begins not with external circumstances, but with the quiet transformation of how you think. This does not mean pretending that challenges do not exist. Life brings real difficulties, and acknowledging them honestly is important. Yet you always have the choice of deciding what meaning you attach to those difficulties. You can view obstacles as proof that success is impossible, or you can view them as training that prepares you for greater responsibility. The situation may remain the same, but the interpretation you choose changes the strength you feel while facing it. Many successful people share one powerful habit. They guard their thoughts carefully. They pay attention to the messages they repeat to themselves and replace destructive inner dialogue with constructive belief. Over time, this practice builds resilience. When setbacks appear, they do not immediately assume defeat. They look for lessons, adjustments, and new paths forward. Their thinking supports their persistence rather than weakening it. Take a moment to observe your recent thoughts. Are they encouraging your growth, or are they quietly convincing you to expect less from yourself? Awareness is the first step toward change. When you notice a thought that says, "I cannot do this," gently replace it with, "I am learning how to do this." When a thought whispers, "It is too late," remind yourself, "I can begin from where I am today." These small mental shifts may seem simple, but repeated consistently, they reshape your confidence. Your environment also influences your thinking more than you may realize. The voices you listen to, the content you consume, and the conversations you engage in can either strengthen or weaken your mindset. Surrounding yourself with encouragement, learning, and constructive ideas helps your mind remain focused on possibility rather than limitation. Protecting your mental space is not selfish. It is necessary for maintaining clarity and direction. Remember that thoughts alone do not change reality, but thoughts guide the actions that eventually do. When your thinking becomes more hopeful and purposeful, your behavior naturally begins to follow. You take more initiative, you try again after setbacks, and you recognize opportunities that once escaped your attention. Gradually, these actions lead to outcomes that reflect the new mindset you have cultivated. Today, choose to begin guiding your thoughts more intentionally. Start with one simple practice. Whenever you catch yourself repeating a discouraging belief, pause and replace it with a constructive one. Over time, this habit becomes automatic, and your inner voice becomes an ally instead of an obstacle. The direction of your life begins to shift the moment your thinking begins to change. If this message speaks to you, pause for a moment and type, "I choose positive focus," in the comments as a reminder that your thoughts are powerful tools shaping your path. Let this declaration mark the beginning of a more intentional mindset, one that supports your growth every day. Stay with this series until the end, because each part is designed to help you apply practical wisdom to your daily life. How to maintain emotional balance, how to strengthen your habits, how to recognize opportunities, and how to move forward with confidence even during uncertain times. The transformation you seek is not distant. It begins with the thoughts you decide to nurture today. Remember this truth: the world you experience tomorrow is influenced by the thinking you practice today. Choose thoughts that expand your courage, strengthen your hope, and remind you of the potential still unfolding within you. As your thoughts become clearer and more purposeful, your steps will naturally follow in the same direction, leading you steadily toward the life you are preparing to create. There are moments in life when setbacks arrive unexpectedly, interrupting plans you carefully created and leaving you wondering whether all your effort was wasted. During such times, discouragement can quietly whisper that you should stop trying, that perhaps success belongs only to others. Yet setbacks do not define your future. They reveal the strength you are capable of developing. The way you respond after difficulty often determines how your story continues. Think about the challenges you have already overcome. At the time, some of them may have seemed overwhelming, yet step by step you moved through them. You adapted, you learned, and eventually you reached a place where those same obstacles no longer held the same power over you. This pattern is important to remember because it shows that your ability to rise again is greater than any temporary setback you encounter. Many people mistakenly believe that successful individuals never experience failure, but the truth is very different. Most meaningful achievements are built on layers of attempts that did not work perfectly at first. What separates those who eventually succeed from those who give up is persistence. They treat setbacks not as final endings, but as information, signals showing what needs adjustment before the next attempt. When you adopt the same perspective, setbacks become stepping stones rather than barriers. My child, every challenge you face carries within it a lesson that strengthens your preparation. Difficulties refine patience, teach creative problem-solving, and develop emotional resilience. Without these qualities, even great opportunities can be difficult to sustain. The experiences you once wished to avoid often become the very training that equips you to handle future success with confidence and wisdom. Sometimes setbacks also reveal hidden strengths you did not know you possessed. When everything is comfortable, your potential may remain unused. But when circumstances become demanding, you discover new determination, deeper courage, and a clearer sense of purpose. These qualities do not disappear after the challenge passes. They remain with you, becoming part of the person you are continuously shaping. It is natural to feel disappointment when plans do not unfold as expected, but do not allow temporary disappointment to become permanent discouragement. Take time to reflect, learn what you can, and then begin again with renewed clarity. Each new attempt benefits from the knowledge gained during the previous one. Over time, this process builds expertise and confidence that cannot be created in any other way. You may also notice that some setbacks redirect you toward paths better suited to your abilities and purpose. Opportunities that once seemed perfect, sometimes close, because they are leading you toward alternatives that match your growth more accurately. Looking back later, many people realize that what first appeared as loss eventually guided them to something far more meaningful than they had originally planned. Today, remind yourself that progress is rarely a smooth, uninterrupted line. It often includes turns, pauses, and unexpected challenges. Yet, as long as you continue moving, learning, and adjusting, the journey remains alive. Your resilience is not measured by how often difficulties appear, but by how often you choose to rise again after they do. If these words encourage your heart, pause for a moment and type, "I rise again," in the comments as a declaration that setbacks do not control your direction. Let that simple statement remind you that every new day offers another opportunity to continue building the future you desire. Stay with this series until the end, because each part is designed to help you strengthen your mindset, rebuild confidence after disappointment, and recognize the opportunities that often appear after persistence. The lessons you apply from each challenge will gradually shape a life filled not only with achievement, but also with wisdom. Remember today that your story is not determined by the moments when things went wrong. It is shaped by the courage you show afterward, the lessons you choose to keep, and the determination that moves you forward again. Each time you stand up after difficulty, you become stronger than before, and that strength becomes the foundation upon which your future victories will stand. Many people spend a great deal of time thinking about the future, imagining the life they hope to live, the opportunities they wish to receive, and the peace they want to experience. Yet the future is not created only by what you hope will happen. It is shaped by the decisions you make each day. Every choice, large or small, quietly moves you closer to one direction or another. When you begin to see your daily decisions as building blocks of your future, you gain the power to shape your path more intentionally. You may sometimes feel that your present actions are too small to matter, but consistent decisions have a powerful cumulative effect. A single positive choice may not seem dramatic, yet repeated over weeks and months, it becomes a habit, and habits eventually shape outcomes. In the same way, small delays or repeated procrastination can slowly move goals further away. Awareness of this truth allows you to choose your actions with greater purpose. My child, you do not need to solve your entire future today. You only need to decide what step you will take next. When you focus on the next meaningful action, instead of worrying about the entire journey, progress becomes manageable and steady. Each completed step builds confidence, and that confidence encourages the next step. Over time, these small movements form a path that once seemed impossible to see. Consider the goals that matter most to you. What daily actions support those goals? Perhaps it is learning something new, improving your health, strengthening relationships, or dedicating time to a meaningful project. When you consistently choose actions aligned with your intentions, your life gradually begins to reflect those intentions. The future you imagine begins taking shape through the discipline you practice now. There will be moments when distractions try to pull your attention away from what truly matters. Immediate comfort can sometimes appear more appealing than long-term growth. Yet every time you choose the action that supports your purpose, instead of the action that only provides temporary ease, you strengthen your commitment to your future. Over time, these decisions become easier because they align with the identity you are building. It is also important to remember that not every decision must be perfect. Progress is not about flawless choices. It is about consistent direction. If you occasionally make a decision that does not move you forward, learn from it and adjust. The willingness to correct course keeps your journey alive and ensures that temporary mistakes do not become permanent setbacks. What matters most is your commitment to continue choosing growth again and again. You may notice that as your decisions become more intentional, your confidence increases. Confidence grows when you see yourself acting in alignment with your goals. You begin to trust your own ability to shape your life. And this trust reduces the fear that once made decisions feel overwhelming. Gradually, you move from reacting to circumstances to actively directing your path. Take a moment today to reflect on one decision you can make that supports the life you want to create. It does not need to be dramatic. Even a small action, planning your time more carefully, reaching out to someone important, beginning a task you postponed, or committing to a new habit, can begin shifting your momentum. Each intentional decision sends a message to yourself that your future is worth your effort. If this message resonates with you, pause for a moment and type "I choose wisely today" in the comments as a reminder that your daily decisions are shaping the direction of your life. Let those words encourage you to remain mindful of the choices you make, knowing that each one contributes to the story you are building. Stay with this series until the end, because each part is designed to help you apply these insights practically, strengthening your focus, building better habits, maintaining emotional balance, and recognizing opportunities that appear when preparation meets intention. Your future is not something distant and unreachable. It is something you begin creating right now through the decisions you make today. And if these messages continue to bring encouragement into your life, remember to like, subscribe, and share them with others who may need hope and direction. If you feel uplifted by these words and wish to help these teachings reach more people, you can also support this ministry through the link provided below. Your support helps keep these messages flowing to those who are searching for strength and purpose. Remember this truth as you move forward. The future does not arrive suddenly. It grows from the actions you take consistently. Choose each step with intention. Remain patient with the process, and trust that the path you are building today will lead you to opportunities that once seemed only like distant dreams. There are times in your journey when weariness quietly settles in. You may still believe in your goals, still care deeply about your purpose, yet your energy feels lower than before. During such moments, many people begin to question whether they should continue, wondering if the tiredness they feel is a sign that the path itself is wrong. But fatigue does not always mean you are heading in the wrong direction. Sometimes it simply means you have been walking with determination for a long time and need rest, not retreat. Rest is not weakness. Rest is renewal. When you allow yourself moments to recover, reflect, and regain clarity, you return stronger than before. The danger arises only when temporary tiredness is mistaken for permanent defeat. Some people abandon their dreams, not because they truly lost passion, but because they never paused long enough to restore their strength. Learning the difference between resting and quitting is one of the most valuable lessons you can carry through life. My child, even the most dedicated travelers stop occasionally to gather strength before continuing the journey. Your effort does not become meaningless because you slow down for a moment. In fact, wise pauses often prevent burnout and help you continue with clearer direction. When your mind becomes calmer and your body regains energy, solutions that once seemed distant often become easier to see. You may notice that when you are exhausted, even small obstacles appear larger than they truly are. A simple challenge can feel overwhelming, and doubts may seem louder than usual. Yet after proper rest, those same challenges often look manageable again. This is why taking care of your well-being is not separate from pursuing your goals. It is part of the process that allows you to sustain your progress. Consider how often you expect yourself to move forward without interruption, as though constant activity were the only measure of dedication. True commitment, however, includes the wisdom to recognize when renewal is necessary. Balance between effort and rest ensures that your journey remains steady rather than collapsing under unnecessary pressure. When you care for your mental and physical strength, you protect the future you are building. There may also be emotional burdens that quietly drain your energy. Unresolved worries, constant comparison with others, or the pressure to achieve everything quickly. Taking time to reflect, release unnecessary stress, and reconnect with your purpose helps lighten these invisible loads. A peaceful mind often works more effectively than an exhausted one. When your thoughts become clearer, your decisions become stronger. You do not need to prove your worth by exhausting yourself. Your value is not measured by how constantly busy you appear, but by the meaningful progress you make over time. Even small, consistent steps, taken with a rested mind and steady focus, often achieve more than frantic effort driven by pressure. Sustainable growth is built through rhythm periods of effort, followed by moments of renewal. If you find yourself feeling tired today, ask yourself gently, do I need to quit, or do I simply need to pause and regain strength? Most often, the answer is the second. Allow yourself the kindness of recovery. Then, return to your path with renewed clarity, remembering why you began and what still matters to you. The journey continues, not because you never become tired, but because you choose to rise again after each period of rest. If these words speak to your heart, pause for a moment and type, "I rest and continue," in the comments as a reminder that renewal is part of strength, not a sign of failure. Let this simple affirmation encourage you to treat yourself with patience while remaining committed to your direction. Stay with this series until the end, because each part is designed to help you maintain balance, strengthen your mindset, and continue progressing even through challenging seasons. The wisdom you apply now will help you sustain your growth for years to come, not just for a short burst of motivation. Remember this truth: a well-rested spirit walks further than an exhausted one. Take the time you need to recover your energy, quiet your thoughts, and regain focus. Then continue forward with steady determination, knowing that every step you take, whether slow or fast, still moves you closer to the future you are building with intention and faith. Many people hesitate to begin something new because they believe the start must be perfect, impressive, or immediately successful. They wait for ideal conditions, more resources, or complete certainty before taking the first step. Yet some of the most meaningful achievements in life began quietly, with small efforts that seemed almost insignificant at the time. The beginning does not need to be grand, it only needs to be sincere. You may look at your current situation and feel that what you can do today is too small to matter. Perhaps the progress seems slow, or the results appear distant. But every large accomplishment you admire was once only an idea in someone's mind, followed by a modest first action. Growth expands over time. What begins as a single step becomes a path, and what begins as a small habit becomes a powerful routine that shapes the future. My child, do not let the fear of starting imperfectly keep you from starting at all. Waiting for the perfect moment often leads to endless delay, while beginning with what you have creates momentum. Momentum has a remarkable effect. It builds confidence, attracts opportunities, and reveals possibilities that were invisible before you moved. Many doors become visible only after you take the first few steps toward them. Consider how learning happens. When you first attempt something new, it may feel unfamiliar or uncomfortable. Skills develop gradually through practice, not instantly. If you judge yourself too harshly at the beginning, you may abandon efforts that were only moments away from improvement. Patience with your own growth allows you to continue long enough to see real progress. Every expert you admire once stood at the same starting point, learning step by step. Sometimes people avoid small beginnings because they compare their early efforts with someone else's advanced results. This comparison creates unnecessary discouragement. Instead of asking whether your start looks impressive, ask whether it is moving you forward. Progress is personal. The most important question is not how fast someone else is moving, but whether you are taking steps that align with your own direction. You may also notice that small beginnings often carry less pressure, allowing you to experiment, learn, and refine your approach. When expectations are manageable, you become more willing to try, adjust, and grow. Over time, these small attempts accumulate into experience, and experience builds confidence. Confidence, once established, encourages you to attempt larger goals that once felt intimidating. Today, think about something meaningful you have been postponing because it seems too big to start. Break it into the smallest possible action and begin there. Write the first paragraph, take the first walk, make the first call, learn the first lesson, or create the first simple plan. These modest steps may not appear dramatic, but they are powerful because they transform intention into movement. Remember that consistency matters more than intensity at the beginning. A small action repeated daily often produces greater results than occasional bursts of large effort followed by long pauses. The rhythm of steady progress strengthens discipline and gradually turns effort into habit. When a habit forms, continuing becomes easier, and what once required determination begins to feel natural. If these words encourage you today, pause for a moment and type, "I begin today," in the comments as a personal commitment to start where you are. Let that declaration remind you that the future you desire is not waiting for perfection. It is waiting for your first step. Stay with this series until the end, because each part is designed to guide you in practical ways. How to build confidence through action, how to maintain consistency when motivation fluctuates, and how to recognize the opportunities that appear once you begin moving forward. The path ahead is not reserved only for those who start perfectly. It belongs to those who start sincerely and continue steadily. Remember this truth as you move forward. Every strong tree once began as a small seed. What matters is not how small the beginning looks today, but how faithfully it is nurtured over time. Take that first step, even if it feels modest, and trust that continued effort will transform today's small beginning into tomorrow's meaningful achievement. Many people think patience means simply waiting for something to happen, as if it were a passive state where nothing meaningful takes place. But true patience is far more powerful than waiting. Patience is the active process of continuing to grow, learn, and prepare while results are still forming. When you understand patience this way, you realize that time is not being wasted. It is being used to strengthen you. You may sometimes feel that progress should happen faster, that your goals should already be visible, or that your efforts should have produced results by now. These thoughts are natural. yet they can create frustration if you forget that meaningful achievements often require time to develop. The most stable foundations are rarely built quickly. Strength that lasts is usually formed gradually, layer by layer, through consistent effort and experience. My child, patience protects you from receiving opportunities before you are ready to sustain them. When growth happens too quickly without preparation, it can be difficult to maintain success. But when your abilities, mindset, and discipline develop steadily, you become capable of handling greater responsibilities with confidence. The waiting season is not empty. It is shaping the person who will step into the next chapter. Think about the skills you have already developed over time. None of them appeared instantly. You practiced, improved, adjusted, and gradually became better. At first, the progress may have seemed slow, but eventually, your ability increased to a level that once felt distant. This same pattern applies to many areas of life. Consistent effort during patient seasons eventually produces visible transformation. Sometimes impatience also arises because you compare your timeline with someone else's. You see others achieving results and wonder why your journey appears longer, yet every path carries different lessons, responsibilities, and opportunities. Instead of measuring how quickly another person arrives somewhere, focus on how steadily you are becoming stronger, wiser, and more prepared. Your growth is not delayed when it is preparing you for something meaningful. Patience also teaches emotional strength. When you learn to remain calm and focused despite uncertainty, you develop resilience that supports you through future challenges. Those who master patience are less easily discouraged because they understand that progress often unfolds in stages. They continue working even when results are not immediately visible, trusting that consistency will eventually reveal its rewards. You may notice that some of your greatest insights arrived during slower periods of life, moments when you had time to reflect, learn, and refine your direction. Fast-paced seasons often bring activity, but slower seasons bring understanding. Both are necessary, and each prepares you in different ways. When you learn to value patience, you begin to see these quieter phases, not as delays, but as opportunities for deeper growth. Today, remind yourself that your journey is still moving forward, even when results are not yet fully visible. Continue practicing your skills, strengthening your habits, and improving your mindset. Every small step you take during this period contributes to the larger transformation that is gradually taking shape. Growth is happening, even when it feels subtle. If this message resonates with you, pause for a moment and type, "I grow with patience," in the comments as a personal reminder that waiting does not mean standing still. It means becoming stronger while moving forward. Let these words encourage you to remain steady, knowing that your dedication is building something meaningful. Stay with this series until the end, because each part is designed to help you apply these lessons in practical ways. How to maintain focus when progress feels slow, how to continue improving during quiet seasons, and how to recognize the opportunities that patience eventually reveals. The journey you are walking is not defined by how quickly everything happens, but by how deeply you grow along the way. Remember this truth today. Patience is not the absence of movement. It is the quiet process of development. Continue learning, continue practicing, and continue trusting that every day of sincere effort is preparing you for results that will one day appear clearly. When that moment arrives, you will realize that the time you once called waiting was actually the time that shaped you into the person capable of receiving what you hoped for. There are times in life when the most important belief you must strengthen is not belief in the world around you, but belief in the growth taking place within you. Many people work hard, learn constantly, and take meaningful steps forward, yet they still underestimate how far they have come. When you fail to recognize your own progress, you may begin to doubt your ability, even while you are quietly improving. Learning to see your own growth clearly can transform how confidently you walk into the future. You have already developed strengths that once felt distant. Skills that once required effort may now feel natural. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming may now appear manageable. These changes did not happen suddenly. They happen gradually through repeated effort. Yet because growth is often slow and continuous, you may overlook it unless you intentionally pause to reflect. Recognizing your progress is not pride. It is awareness that encourages further development. My child, believing in your growth does not mean thinking you have already reached your final destination. It means trusting that the effort you invest is producing results, even if those results are still unfolding. When you believe that improvement is possible, you approach challenges differently. Instead of seeing obstacles as proof that you cannot succeed, you see them as opportunities to expand your ability. This mindset transforms frustration into motivation. Many people limit themselves, not because they lack potential, but because they repeat the belief that they cannot improve. When a person convinces themselves that their abilities are fixed, they stop trying, and their growth slows. But when you understand that skills, confidence, and resilience can all be developed, you remain open to learning. Each new experience becomes a chance to become stronger rather than a test you fear failing. Think about the experiences that taught you the most valuable lessons. Often, they were not the easiest moments, but the ones that required persistence. You learned because you stayed engaged long enough to improve. This same principle continues throughout your life. Every time you face a challenge and choose to keep learning, you expand the limits of what you can accomplish. Growth becomes a continuous process rather than a distant goal. You may sometimes hear an inner voice telling you that you are not ready, not capable enough, or too late to begin something meaningful. That voice often speaks from past fears rather than present reality. The truth is that you are constantly evolving. The person you are today already carries more understanding than the person you were years ago. When you acknowledge this progress, you gain the confidence to attempt things that once seemed impossible. Believing in your growth also encourages patience. When you trust that development is happening, you become less discouraged by temporary setbacks. Instead of interpreting difficulties as failure, you see them as part of the learning process. This perspective keeps you moving forward, and movement itself continues strengthening your ability. Confidence grows not only from success, but from the realization that you can continue learning, no matter what challenges appear. Take a moment today to reflect on the improvements you have made, habits you strengthened, fears you overcame, skills you learned, and decisions you handled more wisely than before. Even small changes matter, because they demonstrate that progress is real. When you see evidence of your growth, you begin to believe more deeply in your potential, and that belief influences how boldly you step into new opportunities. If this message encourages your heart, pause for a moment and type, "I believe in my growth," in the comments as a reminder that you are not standing still. You are developing every day. Let this declaration reinforce your confidence and inspire you to continue learning with enthusiasm rather than hesitation. Stay with this series until the end, because each part is designed to help you strengthen your mindset, build lasting habits, and recognize the transformation already happening within you. The wisdom you apply consistently will guide you toward a future shaped not only by your goals, but also by the person you become while pursuing them. Remember this truth today: growth is not always loud or dramatic. Often it happens quietly, through daily effort, reflection, and willingness to learn. Trust the progress you are making, even when it feels gradual. Continue investing in yourself, and you will discover that the belief you hold about your own potential becomes a powerful force, guiding your journey toward greater possibilities. Many people spend years waiting for the perfect opportunity to appear, believing that success begins when an external door suddenly opens. They look for permission, approval, or ideal circumstances before fully stepping forward. Yet one of the most powerful realizations you can experience is this: many of the doors you are waiting for do not open from the outside. They open from within, through the mindset you develop, the courage you practice, and the actions you decide to take even before everything feels certain. You may sometimes think that once conditions improve, once confidence arrives, or once someone else recognizes your potential, then you will begin. But confidence often follows action rather than preceding it. The moment you decide to move forward with what you already have, your current skills, your current knowledge, your current resources, you begin unlocking possibilities that once seemed distant. Progress starts when you stop waiting for ideal circumstances and begin creating them through your choices. My child, there is already potential inside you that has not yet been fully expressed. You carry ideas you have not yet acted on, strengths you have not yet fully trusted, and dreams you may have quietly postponed. The reason some opportunities have not appeared is not because they are impossible, but because they are waiting for your participation. When you step forward with determination, new connections, new learning, and new pathways begin to appear in ways you could not have predicted. Consider how often you have already solved problems by taking initiative. At first, the situation may have looked uncertain. Yet once you began working, clarity gradually appeared. This pattern continues throughout life. Action produces feedback. Feedback produces learning. And learning produces improvement. When you remain still, uncertainty often remains unchanged. When you begin moving, even slowly, direction becomes clearer. There may be moments when fear suggests that you should wait until you feel completely ready. But readiness is rarely a perfect state. Most people begin while still learning, still growing, and still adjusting their plans along the way. Waiting for complete certainty can delay progress indefinitely, while starting with imperfect readiness allows growth to begin immediately. Every attempt teaches something valuable, and every lesson gained increases your ability. You may also notice that once you start taking initiative, your confidence naturally grows. Each completed step shows you that progress is possible. Over time, this confidence becomes self-reinforcing. The more you act, the more capable you feel. The more capable you feel, the more willing you become to act again. This cycle transforms hesitation into momentum, and momentum opens opportunities that once seemed unreachable. Today, ask yourself honestly, is there something you have been waiting to begin, hoping that circumstances will become easier first? Perhaps the moment you have been waiting for is not something that will suddenly arrive. It may be something you create by taking the first step today. Even a small action can begin unlocking possibilities that were hidden while you remain still. If this message resonates with you, pause for a moment and type "I open the door" in the comments as a declaration that you are ready to take initiative in your own journey. Let this simple affirmation remind you that your actions hold the key to many opportunities you seek. Stay with this series until the end, because each part is designed to guide you toward practical growth, how to strengthen your confidence, build habits that support your goals, and recognize the moments when taking initiative transforms your path. The more you apply these insights, the more clearly you will see that your life is shaped not only by what happens to you, but by how you respond. And if these messages continue to encourage and uplift you, remember to like, subscribe, and share them so others who need motivation can also receive these words. If you feel inspired and wish to help this ministry reach more people, you can also support through the link provided below, helping these messages of hope and direction continue spreading. Remember this truth today: opportunities are not always distant, gates waiting for you to arrive. Often they are doors already placed before you, ready to open the moment you choose to turn the handle. Take that step with courage. Trust the growth already happening within you and watch how new pathways begin to unfold as you move forward with intention. There are moments when you work diligently, give your best effort, and still do not see immediate results. During such times, it is easy to wonder whether your efforts truly matter or whether the time you invested was lost. Yet, one of the most important truths you can remember is that sincere effort is never wasted. Even when results are not immediately visible, your actions are shaping your skills, strengthening your character and preparing you for opportunities that are still approaching. You may not always see how each experience connects to the future, but over time, the lessons you gather begin to form a powerful foundation. The skills you practice today may become essential for a responsibility you will receive tomorrow. The patience you develop during challenging seasons may help you remain steady during important decisions later. Every effort you make contributes something valuable, even if its purpose is not yet fully clear. My child, the world often celebrates visible success, but overlooks the unseen preparation that made it possible. Behind every achievement stands a long period of quiet learning, repeated attempts, and dedication that others rarely notice. When you continue working faithfully, even without recognition, you are building strength that cannot be easily shaken. This strength becomes the difference between temporary success and lasting accomplishment. Sometimes you may feel discouraged because you expected faster results. Yet consider how many meaningful processes require time learning a skill, building trust, improving health, or developing expertise. None of these appear instantly, but each consistent effort moves you closer to mastery. When you stay committed, your progress eventually becomes visible, often in ways that surprise even you. You may also notice that certain experiences teach you indirectly. A challenge you face today might not seem useful at first, yet later you discover that it helped you develop resilience, problem-solving ability, or emotional understanding that becomes invaluable in future situations. Life often connects lessons in ways that only become clear when you look back and see how each effort prepared you for the next stage. There may be days when motivation feels low and the temptation to stop appears strong. During such moments, remind yourself that consistency matters more than intensity. Even small, continued effort keeps your journey alive. When you maintain steady progress, you prevent the need to start over repeatedly, and over time, your results begin to accumulate. The quiet persistence you practice today is building momentum that will support you later. It is also important to recognize that your effort influences not only your external achievements, but also your internal confidence. Every time you complete a task you committed to, you strengthen trust in your own reliability. This self-trust becomes a powerful source of courage, encouraging you to take on larger goals because you know you can depend on your own discipline. Confidence grows naturally when your actions repeatedly confirm your dedication. Today, choose to view your effort as an investment rather than a gamble. Investments sometimes require patience before returns appear, but their value grows steadily over time. Continue learning, practicing, and refining your approach. Even when progress seems slow, something meaningful is being built beneath the surface, preparing you for the opportunities that will eventually meet your preparation. If these words encourage you, pause for a moment and type, "My effort matters," in the comments, as a reminder that nothing you do with sincerity is wasted. Let this affirmation strengthen your determination to continue moving forward with purpose. Stay with this series until the end, because each part is designed to help you apply practical wisdom: how to remain consistent, how to overcome discouragement, and how to recognize the value of steady preparation. The insights you practice daily will gradually transform your journey, turning effort into achievement. Remember this truth today: results may not always appear immediately, but the process of becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable is already taking place. Continue investing your time and energy with patience and faith, knowing that every sincere step you take is contributing to a future where your preparation and opportunity will meet at the perfect moment. Every day your attention moves from one thought to another, from one situation to the next, often without you fully noticing how much power your focus holds. Yet focus is not merely observation, it is direction. Whatever you consistently focus on begins to shape your emotions, your decisions, and eventually the results you experience. When your attention rests mainly on problems, frustration tends to increase. When your attention moves toward solutions, opportunities begin to appear more clearly. You may not always control what events happen around you, but you always hold the ability to choose what you give your attention to. This choice is subtle, yet it influences your life more deeply than you might expect. If you spend most of your time replaying past mistakes, your confidence may slowly weaken. If you spend time reflecting on lessons learned and next steps, your confidence gradually strengthens. The difference lies in the direction of your focus, my child. Focusing on growth does not mean ignoring challenges. It means choosing to see challenges as situations that can be addressed, rather than obstacles that define your limits. When your mind searches for possibilities instead of dwelling only on difficulties, creative ideas begin to surface. Solutions that once seemed distant become easier to recognize because your attention is aligned with progress. Think about moments when you felt encouraged and motivated. Often those feelings appeared when you were concentrating on something meaningful, learning a skill, planning a goal, or helping someone else. In those moments, your energy increased because your focus was connected to purpose. Purposeful focus naturally generates momentum. The more you direct your attention toward meaningful actions, the easier it becomes to continue moving forward. On the other hand, when your focus becomes scattered among worries, comparisons, or constant distractions, your energy may feel divided. Progress slows, not because you lack ability, but because your attention is not consistently directed. Learning to guide your focus intentionally is like steering a vehicle. Small adjustments in direction eventually determine where you arrive. Even minor shifts in attention, practiced daily, can change the path of your life. You may find it helpful to begin each day by asking a simple question: what deserves my focus today? This question reminds you to choose your priorities consciously rather than allowing random distractions to decide for you. When you identify one or two meaningful tasks and give them your full attention, you often accomplish more than when trying to do many things without concentration. Quality of focus frequently matters more than quantity of activity. It is also important to protect your focus from unnecessary negativity. Constant exposure to discouraging messages, excessive comparison, or information overload can quietly influence your mindset. Choosing what you read, watch, and listen to becomes an act of self-direction. When your environment supports your goals, maintaining focus becomes easier because your surroundings reinforce the direction you want to move. Today, take a moment to notice where your attention has been resting recently. Has it been centered on worry, or has it been moving toward solutions and growth? Awareness is the first step to change. Once you recognize your current focus, you can gently guide it toward what strengthens your hope and productivity. Over time, this practice becomes natural, and your attention begins to serve your goals rather than distract from them. If these words resonate with you, pause for a moment and type "I focus on growth" in the comments as a reminder that your attention is a powerful tool shaping your journey. Let this declaration encourage you to guide your focus intentionally each day. Stay with this series until the end, because each part is designed to help you build practical habits. How to strengthen concentration, maintain motivation, and recognize opportunities that become visible when your attention is clear. The lessons you apply consistently will help you transform small daily efforts into meaningful long-term results. Remember this truth today: what you focus on grows, not only in your thoughts, but also in your life. Direct your attention toward learning, improvement, and purposeful action, and you will gradually see those same qualities expanding around you. With steady focus, even distant goals begin to move closer, step by step, day by day, guided by the direction you choose to hold in your mind. There are moments when emotions feel intense, moments of frustration, disappointment, doubt, or even exhaustion. During these times, it can be tempting to make quick decisions simply to escape the discomfort of what you feel. Yet one of the wisest lessons you can learn is this: temporary emotions should never be allowed to make permanent decisions for your life. Feelings change, but the consequences of certain choices can remain long after the emotion that created them has faded. You may recall times when you almost gave up on something important because you felt discouraged in a single difficult moment. If you had acted solely on that feeling, you might have missed opportunities that later brought meaning and growth into your life. Emotions are valuable signals, but they are not always accurate guides for long-term decisions. Learning to pause before reacting gives your wisdom time to speak more clearly than your immediate feelings. My child, strength often appears in the ability to wait calmly until your thoughts become clear again. When frustration rises, take a breath before speaking. When disappointment appears, allow yourself time to reflect before deciding what to do next. Many problems that seem overwhelming in one moment look manageable after a period of calm reflection. Patience during emotional moments protects you from choices that you might later regret. This does not mean ignoring your emotions. Your feelings deserve acknowledgement because they reveal what matters to you. Yet after acknowledging them, give yourself the opportunity to evaluate the situation with clarity. Ask yourself, will this decision still feel right tomorrow? Will it move me closer to the life I want to build? Questions like these shift your focus from the temporary present to the lasting future. You may notice that when you respond thoughtfully instead of impulsively, your confidence grows. Each time you choose reflection over reaction, you strengthen emotional discipline. Over time, this discipline becomes a powerful advantage, helping you remain steady even in challenging situations. People who develop this ability often navigate life's difficulties more effectively because they make decisions guided by purpose rather than by passing emotions. There will always be moments when circumstances test your patience. Unexpected setbacks, misunderstandings, or delays may create emotional pressure. Yet these moments also offer opportunities to practice calm thinking. Instead of asking, "How do I escape this feeling quickly?" try asking, "What is the wisest response I can choose right now?" This simple shift in perspective transforms emotional challenges into moments of growth. It is also helpful to remember that emotions naturally change with time. What feels overwhelming today may feel manageable tomorrow. Giving yourself even a short period to step back, taking a walk, resting, or speaking with someone you trust can bring new perspective. When your mind becomes calmer, you are more likely to make decisions aligned with your long-term goals rather than your short-term discomfort. Today, commit to giving yourself the gift of thoughtful response. When strong emotions arise, pause before acting. Allow clarity to return, and then choose your next step with intention. This practice protects your future and strengthens your ability to remain balanced, regardless of circumstances. If these words speak to your heart, pause for a moment and type, "I choose calm decisions," in the comments as a reminder that you are capable of guiding your actions with wisdom rather than impulse. Let this affirmation encourage you to remain steady, even when emotions feel intense. Stay with this series until the end, because each part is designed to help you strengthen your mindset, develop emotional resilience, and make decisions that support the future you want to create. The lessons you apply daily will gradually build a life shaped not by temporary reactions, but by intentional choices. Remember this truth today: feelings are powerful, but they are not permanent. When you allow time for clarity before making important decisions, you protect your direction and preserve your opportunities. Stay patient, stay thoughtful, and continue walking forward with the confidence that wise choices, made consistently, will guide you toward the future you are preparing to live. In a world that constantly emphasizes speed, faster results, faster success, faster recognition, it is easy to feel that you must move quickly to prove your worth. You may look around and see others appearing to advance rapidly and begin to question whether your own pace is too slow. Yet, one of the most important truths to remember is that direction matters far more than speed. Moving quickly in the wrong direction only leads you further away from where you truly want to be, while steady progress in the right direction eventually brings you exactly where you need to go. There are times when your journey requires patience because you are building something meaningful rather than something temporary. Strong foundations take time. Skills that last require repeated practice. Wisdom develops through experience, reflection, and learning from both successes and mistakes. When you allow yourself the time needed to grow properly, you create results that remain stable rather than fragile. My child, do not measure your progress only by how fast things appear to be happening. Instead, ask yourself whether your current actions are aligned with the life you wish to create. Each day you make decisions that shape your path, how you use your time, how you treat others, how you invest in your learning, and how you respond to challenges. These choices quietly determine your direction, even when the pace of visible progress feels slow. Sometimes moving slowly is not a disadvantage, it is an advantage. When you move steadily, you notice details that hurried movement might miss. You have time to learn deeply, adjust your approach, and strengthen your understanding. Those who rush without reflection often need to retrace their steps later, while those who progress thoughtfully build confidence along the way. Careful steps may take longer at the beginning, but they often lead to more reliable outcomes. You may also discover that your pace naturally changes over time. Some seasons of life move quickly, filled with activity and rapid developments. Other seasons move more quietly, offering space for learning, planning, and reflection. Both types of seasons are valuable. The quieter ones prepare you internally, while the faster ones allow you to apply what you have learned. Accepting these rhythms helps you remain calm rather than anxious about your progress. Comparison often creates unnecessary pressure. When you compare your speed with someone else's, you may forget that each person's journey includes different responsibilities, starting points, and goals. What appears fast from the outside may carry unseen challenges, just as your own slower moments may carry deep growth that others cannot see. Instead of asking how quickly you are moving compared to others, ask whether you are moving consistently toward what truly matters to you. Take a moment today to reflect on your current direction. Are your daily actions guiding you toward your goals, even if progress feels gradual? If the answer is yes, then continue with confidence. Consistent movement in the right direction eventually produces results that cannot be achieved through rushed effort. If adjustments are needed, begin making them now. Small changes in direction today can prevent larger corrections later. Remember that meaningful journeys are not measured only by arrival, but also by the person you become along the way. The patience, discipline, and resilience you develop while moving steadily are qualities that remain with you long after you reach your destination. These qualities help you sustain success rather than losing it through haste or lack of preparation. If these words resonate with you, pause for a moment and type, "I move in the right direction" in the comments, as a reminder that steady progress matters more than rapid movement. Let this declaration encourage you to continue walking your path with calm confidence rather than unnecessary urgency. Stay with this series until the end, because each part is designed to help you strengthen your focus, maintain motivation, and recognize the value of consistent forward movement. The wisdom you apply daily will guide you toward a future shaped not by how quickly you traveled, but by how faithfully you followed the path meant for you. Remember this truth today: speed can impress for a moment, but direction determines destiny. Continue moving forward step by step, trusting that every thoughtful action you take is bringing you closer to the life you are building with intention and purpose. This is not the end of your journey. It is the moment where everything you have learned begins to take deeper meaning. You've heard reminders about patience, discipline, courage, focus, and the strength that grows through persistence. Now the most important step is simple. Live these truths daily. Inspiration becomes transformation only when it is practiced, when it shapes the way you think, speak, and act in ordinary moments. There will be days when motivation feels strong and moving forward seems easy. There will also be days when doubt tries to return, when circumstances test your patience, or when results appear slower than expected. During those moments, remember that growth is not measured by how perfectly you perform, but by how consistently you continue. Each time you rise again, each time you choose hope instead of discouragement, you reinforce the foundation of the life you are building. My child, the path ahead of you is not empty. It is filled with opportunities waiting for your readiness. Some opportunities will appear as open doors, while others will come disguised as challenges that require courage and learning. Do not fear the challenges. They are often the steps that prepare you for responsibilities greater than you once imagined. Trust that the strength you need will grow as you continue walking. Carry forward the understanding that your thoughts shape your direction. Guard your mind from beliefs that weaken your confidence and nourish the ideas that encourage growth. Speak to yourself with patience. Remind yourself that progress is happening even when it is not yet fully visible. The seeds you plant through daily effort will eventually produce results that surprise you. Remember also the importance of helping others along the way. Encouragement multiplies when it is shared. When you offer kindness, guidance, or hope to someone who feels discouraged, you become part of a chain of light that strengthens many lives, including your own. The value of your journey is not measured only by what you achieve personally, but also by the positive influence you bring to the world around you. There will be moments when you feel uncertain about the next step. In those moments, return to what you already know. Take one meaningful action, however small, and move forward with faith. Clarity often arrives after movement, not before it. Not before it. Each step taken with sincerity creates new perspective and opens possibilities that were invisible while standing still. As you continue beyond this message, keep a simple commitment in your heart. Remain faithful to growth. Continue learning, continue improving. Continue believing that your efforts matter. You are not required to complete everything at once. You are only asked to keep moving, keep trusting, and keep allowing each day to shape you into a stronger, wiser person. If these words have touched your heart, pause for a moment and type, "Amen. I move forward," in the comments as a declaration that you are ready to continue your journey with faith and courage. Let that simple affirmation remind you that your story is still unfolding and that the best chapters are still ahead. Carry this message into your daily life. When difficulties appear, remember your resilience. When opportunities appear, step forward with confidence. When quiet seasons come, use them for reflection and preparation. Every season has meaning, and each one contributes to the larger purpose being formed within your life. And if this ministry has encouraged you, strengthened your spirit, or brought hope into your heart, remember to like, subscribe, and share, so these words can reach others who may be searching for guidance. If you feel uplifted and wish to help this mission continue, you can also support this ministry through the link given below. Helping these messages of faith, strength, and encouragement reach many more people around the world. This is not a farewell. It is ascending forward. Walk with confidence. Walk with patience. Walk with faith. The journey continues, and with every step you take, new light will appear before you.